Morning everyone. I wanted to share with you this practice that I tend to do in the mornings to limber up the whole body, and I'm going to show you starting over on your mat on your knees into grasp and stretch forwards. So we're going to come over into this position like this, and if this is putting pressure on your knees, maybe place a blanket underneath the knees, or maybe if your bottom is up high, you can place maybe a block or perhaps a cushion underneath your bum like this and rest down onto the heels. So I'm going to come down like this, rest the head. So if your head doesn't reach the floor, maybe place a brick. So you can place a brick like this underneath the head, or again, indeed a pillow or anything just to prop up your head is perfectly adequate. And just try and release down. And just begin by, I'm going to turn my head this way so you can hear me. You're just going to begin by breathing into the rib cage. So really try and isolate the breathing into the thoracic area, so into the ribs. So the next time that you take a breath in, just feel the rib cage expand laterally, so outwards. And then on your exhalation, just allow the ribs just to draw back to the midline. So you're just watching the breath, just the natural breath, but trying to focus the breath in that space. So I'm going to give you a minute there to do that. And just begin to really try and release the head. The weight of the head is heavy. The weight of the pelvis, sitting bones, releasing down towards your heels. Trying to see where you can relax. Try and relax the shoulders in this position. Just continuing to take those lovely breaths in and out as if you were just breathing into your rib cage. You can really begin to feel that movement in the back ribs. So once you've done that for a while, you'll come up and then you can just take the hands wider than your shoulders on your mat, and then just start to slide the hands forward and then begin to draw one sitting bone back to the heel and then the opposite one. So you're just starting to move a little bit from side to side here. And then coming back to centre, and then just start to be a bit more active through the arms and active through the shoulders. So feel the shoulders broadening. Draw the shoulder blades down your back away from the ears. So depress the shoulders down your back. And then start to come onto your fingertips and thumb tips. So you can see how I'm lifting my wrists up towards the ceiling. And then again, a little bit more activation into the shoulders. And then we'll start to move a little bit more here, but just more in your upper back, sort of looking forwards. And releasing the chest, and then start to release the head slightly and press into the fingers and thumb tips and feel your shoulder blades separating. So you're retracting and protracting the shoulder blades in these movements. So shoulder blades move apart. So you're protracting the shoulder blades as you round your spine, and then release the chest, sort of belly button down towards the ground. So again, just a few nice movements within your upper back shoulder area, just doing something that feels good to you. I tend to breathe in as I kind of look forwards and feel my spine arching, and then breathing out when I'm coming the other way, when I'm rounding my back up towards the ceiling. Okay, so we'll come from here And then we're just going to come off the knee, so you can just stretch out your feet now. So just come onto like a kneeling position, but lean back onto your toes. Nice stretch for the balls of the feet. Try to spread out all of your toes, including your little toe. And then maybe from here we can just circle the ankle. So if you really spread out your toes and really circle that ankle really well to its fullest, the periphery, and then just rotate in the opposite direction when you're ready. Don't worry if you feel lots of sort of grinding, clicking, just normal. And then just swap feet when you're ready. And change direction when you're ready if you haven't already done so. Then come back again to on toes. So we're going to just push a little bit more now onto the feet and start to really lengthen your heels down towards the ground. So you're stretching in the calves and through the Achilles tendon. So again, just maybe hover here for a moment where you really feel the stretch. I can really feel the stretch here. And then just releasing back for a second, and then again just moving in these positions so that you can just each time come maybe to a squat. You might need to hold on to your mat and come forwards. You can as well use a little block for the heels if you need to as well, there like so. So you don't feel like you're going to fall back behind yourself. And then sort of final position. Again, don't forget to use your block. Just be here just for a moment into just a squat position. And then just coming out when you're ready. And we're going to come to seated. I'm going to use my little block just to perch on. Again, that's just because I like just to sit slightly elevated on a half block. And I'm going to cross my legs. So these are 3 exercises that I've been doing in the morning, which actually come from Kundalini Yoga. I'm not a Kundalini Yoga teacher. So it's just my interpretation of these kriyas or cleansing practices. But I just find it wakes me up, it moves my energy, shifts my energy from the lower chakras and up and through. And with the breathing can become quite energized, or you can just keep it nice and easy and nice and slow and gentle. So we're going to start with Sufi grinds. So I'm going to come around in a rotation, just coming forwards. And I breathe in, and then I'm rounding my back as I breathe out. So as I come forwards, I'm breathing in, hinging sort of from the hip line, rounding the back, breathing out. So you can hold on to your legs, your shins or your knees as well to allow your body just to really move to its fullest rotation. And then you can just come to whichever speed is good for you. So I'm just going to make it slightly quicker. And then, so once I've done a minute in this direction, I'm just going to change direction. You can close the eyes, you can just really get into this. And then once you've completed, you're just going to come to stillness just for a moment. Just see how you feel. Just see how the practice has been absorbed. And then we're going to come on to the next practice. So I've just interpreted this practice in a slightly different way. So I'm going to start to flex and extend through the spine, but just really focusing on the lower part of the spine, so more into the pelvis just initially, just to get that feeling of rocking the pelvis backwards and forwards. So you're tipping the pelvis forwards, so you're kind of sending your navel away from you and then tucking under, sort of drawing this tailbone through. So you can hold the knees, and then the breathing, if you want to do the breathing, is breathing in as you come forwards and lift and sort of open out, and breathing out as you round your spine. So initially, let's just start to see how it feels. Take your time to get used to this movement. So we're just going to do So you want to try to keep the chin parallel with the floor, so you're not flinging your head up. But you really are starting to increase that length through the whole spine as you move through a few more rounds of this. And then we'll come to stillness. Nice breath in and out, just again, just see how that feels. And then the final one, we're going to bring the hands just to be resting onto your shoulders and have the elbows in line with your shoulders. And as we twist, we start from the left, so my left and your left, not mirroring me. We're going to twist, but you're going to keep your nose, your nose in line with your midline. So your head will just move with you as you twist from one side to the other. So again, you don't have to take this movement too quickly. So you breathe in at the left side and breathe out at the right side. So again, you can take this movement at any speed that you like. Just carrying that nostril breath through. You don't need to necessarily use the breath of fire as they do in Kundalini. If you're not sure what that is, I suggest you actually look that up, because I'm not going to be teaching it this morning. And close your eyes. And then you'll come to center again after a minute. And I can really feel that energy flowing through the body all the way to my head. Almost feel slightly lightheaded from that. Really nice, and I feel more energized, and I feel like my spine has really loosened up, because I tend to wake up with quite a tight back and my lower back. So I find that these three kriyas really help. So from here, we are going to come up and we're going to come onto our feet. We're going to come into forward bend. So just be nice and easy. Take the feet about hip distance apart, bend the knees. Just nice and relaxed. Maybe bending one knee and then the other knee. So you're just moving slowly at this point. And then you're slowly going to keep your knees bent. You're slowly going to come up, rounding the spine, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other very, very slowly, keeping your head last to come up. And then just really open out the chest. You're going to lose my head, I think, now. We don't need to see my head for this video. So we're going to take the feet just maybe slightly wider than the hips. And we're going to bring your arms up. And then we're just going to turn to my left, to your left. And we're going to do a little bit of a side bend. So as you come over, side bending, coming slightly down now into a forward bend, coming across to the other side, coming up, leading with that top arm all the way back up. We're going to carry on, so just sort of start to side bend, coming over, round, all the way to the other side, lead with the top arm. Just one more of those, so all the way around. But when you come back down this time, we're just going to hover down here for a minute, and we're just going to sway from side to side, really just trying to let go. And then you're going to come up in the same way that you did before. So bend the knees, start to roll up the spine, head last, really slowly. And then from here, open out. Let's take the arms up. We're just going to reverse. So we're going to start coming over to my right. Again, side bend, coming forwards. Bringing yourself around to the opposite side. Again, you're opening out through that top arm. So it's really opening out through the rib cage. Coming down into your forward fold. Lead with that top arm. Round. So on this one, you're just going to hover for a bit again. Just sway from side to side. And then back to centre again, just keep rounding the spine slowly all the way up to standing. And then opening your arms out really wide, all the way up. Start to draw the heels of the hands up towards the ceiling. Keep lengthening and just bring palms to centre. So I'm going to show you one more exercise with a chair. So I'm going to grab this chair. So you can do this exercise on the worktop, or you can bring a chair into your space, and you're going to have the back of the chair towards you. And we're just going to sit back. So we're about 90 degrees. So luckily this chair is going to roughly about the same height for me. And you might need to bend your knees like so in order to lengthen out your spine. So we're going to just take one hip back, so we're almost opening out through the side here, and then other side. So repeat that a few more times. You're really opening out through the rib cage by bending one knee, taking that hip back and away from the shoulder, and then back to centre. And then we're going to continue with these cat-cow movements, so spinal segmentation. So we're going to start by really tucking the tail under and start to round into your lower back. Feel that rounding, moving along and up your spine, and finally into the shoulders, and really rounding the shoulder blades. Just leaving the head there, chin towards the chest. Start to lengthen the tail away from the head, and slowly start to extend the spine so that you end up starting to slightly look forward, slightly lift. So you're really lengthening and spreading your sitting bones apart. So staying with the upper body and head in this position, we're going to start to tuck under the tail, rounding the lumbar spine. This bit's really tricky. And then coming into further up your spine to the upper back. And then slowly the chin is last towards the chest. Hold that. Just moving the tailbone away. Sitting bones moving away. Again, lengthening the spine. Draw the shoulder blades down your back and look forwards. So this is just the last one. Rounding, rounding, rounding. And then just bend the knees and then just coming out when you're ready. Just move the chair. So I always just finish off just for a moment, just to see how you feel. Just come into seated in any way that's comfortable for you. Just maybe closing your eyes and just taking a few moments. Just a few moments of stillness. Really, really releasing through the lower part of the body from the navel downwards, down through your sitting bones, grounding down, and then lengthening up all the way up through the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And thank you for joining me this morning, and I'll see you next time.